Alright, so, jeez. So we need to replace the throwout bearing, and I was hoping that it would come with the entire thing, but it did not. It comes with just the bearing, which is fine, except that if you look closely here, you can see the wear on this one from the fork, from the years of pressing against it and pivoting on it. This is the part that wore out. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna press this bearing out, and then I'm gonna attempt a repair on this. But in order to do that, I'm gonna have to get these little spring clips out, which is fine, except for they're bent here on the ends to retain them in here. So if I can unbend these without actually breaking them and pull these springs out, then I can weld these up, grind it nice and flat, and it'll be like new. The last thing that we're going to install before we actually put the transmission back in is the clutch fork with the throwout bearing. So the way this works is these little springs here help to keep it attached to the fork. And then this slides over the pivot ball inside the bell housing. So those are both spots that need grease, where it's metal on metal. We need a little bit of grease, keep it from wearing out. And then we also have this nifty OEM shifter boot from Cruiser Outfitters. This is a factory Toyota piece. We don't have one at all right now, so we'll get that thing installed as well. Okay, so I think basically what this is going to do is just go in here, and then this holds it down. I think we can put that on after we put this on. So this guy's got to go. Yep, I'll take this off. Okay, so this guy's got to go through here. Might have to take the pivot ball off. Okay, so At least this will show you what I'm talking about. So there's the pivot ball. That basically just should pop in there. Apparently with a fair amount of resistance. Okay, there we go. So now the pivot ball's in there. When you push on the clutch, pivots off of there. Does it go up through here? Yes, it does. Okay. Okay, so we will see if we can get okay. All right, shifter boots installed. Let's throw this back on here. Okay, there we go. So that is essentially ready for the transmission. All right, it's time for the heavy part. I'm gonna stab this sucker in there. I'll set you guys up. I'll crawl under there and hoist this thing in there, and hopefully it goes right in. Come on, R2. There it is. All right, that is the transmission installed. Let's see. There you go. Push the clutch in, turns, let it out. It's good. All right, transmission's in, clutch slave cylinder's on. I found neutral, clutch works. Next, what I'm going to do is put these covers on. This one's on the front of the bell housing. This one goes underneath. And I'm also going to put this linkage back on. This is the linkage for the 4 low, I believe. So we'll get that set up. That goes up in there like that. It hooks onto this shaft off the transmission, and it hooks up right there. So we'll get that set up now for when the transfer case goes back in. But I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then the next thing we do is probably going to be putting the transfer case back together. Alright, so here's another issue we're dealing with. This is our old drum. Part of the this is a parking brake drum, but part of the parking brake was riding on this shaft and ground it way down, almost all the way through. You can see light through it in a couple spots. Anyway, we got this new one to us. It's not a new one. It's a used piece, but I cleaned it up, painted it. It looks new, but if you can see that, it's got a couple grooves where the seal rides. So it's not perfect, and you can't buy these things new. So what we got here, something I've never heard of. It's called the Speedy Sleeve. So it basically just fits over the sealing surface, and you use this to pound it on, and then you actually break this little lip off of here. So let's see. So what we're gonna do, I don't know if this is entirely necessary, but we're gonna use some of this JB Weld quick weld in there to fill in the imperfections, and then we'll slam that thing on there, and hopefully isn't this a 2-part epoxy? There it is. Whoa, I had a little bit of clog in it. Okay, that's way more than we need. Okay, so let's mix that up. Let's leave some of this black out because we got too much of that. Okay, so we're gonna mix this sucker up. We're gonna spread it on here, and we're gonna slam that sleeve on. Hopefully it goes on without any problems. So, get this all around here, fill in those grooves from the seal. Like I said, I don't know if this is necessary, but it can't really do any harm if we clean the excess off anyways. That is a snug fit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe away the excess that I can right now before we break that little thing off of there. Okay, now takes. All right, let's try this. Sharpened up this chisel, so hopefully okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Clean the rest of this JB weld off of here. There you go. All right, so we're back at it today. We have hit an impasse on the transfer case because I found another bearing that was bad. So we're waiting for that bearing to come in. But we did get a bunch of stuff from the wiring guy. So these are the wires for the gauges, so we can work on that. I'm not really sure what that's for. This is for the heater. Not 100% sure what this one's for. These I think for marker lights, and then also all the little plugs, the correct plugs for the marker lights, and other stuff. So, and some grommets for the firewall. So I think that's the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these grommets in the firewall. Alright, so the problem I'm running into, I think, is I have this extra harness. This harness is for the ARB air locker. So I got this hole. It's the same size hole as the rest of them, and there's only a couple wires coming through it. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed this through there so I don't have that extra wire causing me problems with this hole, because there's already quite a bit going through. sometimes it's the little things that can really give you some issues. Alright everybody, that's all we have time for on this episode. This is just a little sneak peek of next week. I got to do a bunch of rewiring. Like right now I'm rewiring this heater motor, getting a new plug on it, and just getting all that old rotted wire out of there. So thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, please smash that like button. If you would, please subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.